In 2025, if you're looking for a fun performance car that's not going to break the bank, there's only a handful of cars. If you're looking for an all-wheel drive version, there's a Subaru WRX. For the rear-wheel drive version, you have the Toyota GR86. And for the front-wheel drive option, you have the ElantraN. There are other fun front-wheel drive cars at this price point, but from a fun perspective, value, and sheer character, nothing beats this ElantraN, and that's what we're talking about today in this video. This one comes with the 8-speed wet dual clutch transmission, and the price, with the premium performance blue paint, dials in at $37,070 after delivery. Now you can save a little bit of cash if you go with the 6-speed manual version, and I've done a review of that, so check the link up in the corner. There are no changes between the 2025 model year and the 2024, but there's a bunch of changes between this one and the last one I reviewed, which is a 2022 model year. One of those changes is the price, where we've seen about a 10% increase in the span of 3 years. But that's not isolated to this car. The rest of the car market pricing has been a bit crazy. Now, what hasn't changed? It's still powered by a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine making 276 horsepower and 289 pound-feet of torque. It still has a crap load of buttons and drive modes inside. The driving experience is still incredibly fun for the price. The steering feels sharp and responsive. There's minimal steering dead zone in the middle, so it feels pretty direct and sports car-like. Handling is still excellent. Keep the adjustable suspension in the stiffest setting, and it keeps body roll to a minimum. There's also an electronic limited slip diff, so you can maintain faster cornering speeds. It still comes with the awesome Michelin Pilot Sport 4S summer tires, which isn't optimal for the time of this filming, and it still has the most fun stock exhaust ever sold in a production car that's not $40,000. Of course, you can find a better driving experience in a Civic Type R or the Acura Integra Type S, but you'd have to be looking at the used car market if you're working with the same budget. Now, what has changed? The front bumper and the headlights have been changed to fit the new Elantra design language. It's sharper and more modern looking. They've raised the painted section across the bumper to break up the large blacked out grille compared to the previous one. The grille itself is also less crazy looking. The wheels also has a new design, and this is now a forged alloy, so that means that there's a lot less material, but it's a lot stronger. You're saving about 33 pounds total from all 4 corners, so lowering the unsprung weight, so that's always a great thing. And also you can see more of the calipers and the rotors here. And at the rear bumper and the diffuser have been tweaked slightly, so there's now a larger blacked out section, and the taillights have also been revised to the updated Elantra look as well. Not much have changed inside. You still get the performance seats, which are fantastic. These seats are also heated. You get these thick bolsters, and they are very supportive under hard cornering. The car still has a driver-oriented feel, with some of the controls and the screen slightly angled towards the driver, and this handlebar that really encloses the passenger area gives it a more cockpit-like feel. The steering wheel still has the 2 N mode buttons and the paddle shifters. It still comes with this red NGS button. This is called N grin shift, which means that if you press this button, it gives you 20 seconds of added power. I think this changes the ECU mapping in the car so that you can make more power for a brief moment. It also downshifts the car so that you're in the optimal power band. But I think you could somewhat do the same thing just by going from, say, 30% throttle all the way to 100% throttle. It'll also downshift, but I don't think it will make additional power for a brief moment of time. So this is kind of like a push to pass function. The rear seats are still pretty sparse, but there's a good amount of legroom in here. There's no venting at all, but you do get a couple of USB-C chargers. And there's also no armrest. And behind the seats and inside the trunk, you still have the red chassis bar, and that increases the roll stiffness of the car, but it does cut down on the utility. When you fold the rear seats down, you can't have large items pass through the trunk. And there's also no 60/40 split for the rear seats, unlike traditional cars. The only thing that seems to be new here inside is the added wireless charger. Other than that, this is the same ElantraN experience as the 2022 model year. And at this price point, I still think this is one of the best performance bangs for your buck. Personally, I'd go with the 6-speed manual transmission version, which will bypass the NGS function, because rowing your own gears is a lot more fun. And it's also more economical because going with the DCT, this cuts your highway miles per gallon by 2. The dual clutch transmission gets 20 miles in the city and 27 miles in the highway. The manual gets 21 miles in the city and 29 miles in the highway. At this price point, the Volkswagen GTI is also available. It's another fun front-wheel drive car in hatchback shape, so more utilitarian, but it doesn't make as much power, it doesn't have as good of an exhaust note, and the interior has a pretty infuriating touch experience, which hopefully they'll fix in the next couple of years. Or if you've got another 10 grand to spend on a car, then you should check out the Civic Type R or the Acura Integra Type S, both of which I've reviewed before. The Civic Type R is like the 100% solution. It's more engaging, it's more powerful, it drives with a bit more precision, and it also has an awesome 6-speed manual transmission, and I think it looks a little bit better as well. The ElantraN is like the 80% solution. It's a little bit less refined, it has a lot more character and attitude, and you could also get it with less money. But if you're shopping around at this price point, then you should also take a look at that all-wheel drive option, which is the Subaru WRX, and also the rear-wheel drive option, the Toyota GR86. I still maintain that that is the most fun car you could buy that is a rear-wheel drive and also won't break the bank. I've reviewed those cars as well, and you could check out those links in the description box below. I want to thank you so much for watching this quick short video. My name is Hanson, and this has been the 2025 Hyundai ElantraN, and I'll see you in the next one.